Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stare, the way you rolled up for me, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up, we should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus, don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Will you take me on a trip? Always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right, but when you go left, I'm stuck here feeling left behind.
Through thick and thin, for better or for worse. After 20 plus years of marriage and 3 children, my parents are sharing their love, care, and wisdom throughout the world. Spreading this love won't be hard for them because it's simply in their DNA. I present Donnell and Angelic Jackson.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Divine DNA. I am Angelique, and these are my special guests. Miss Chrissy.
It's Chrissy, bitch. We back.
And Queen B. Queen B's Hustle.
Who can't hear?
You can't hear?
We can't hear you either.
Deja. Hey.
Hello.
And Gual.
She having trouble?
What's going on, Gual?
Can she hear?
You can't hear?
Can she hear you then?
She said she can't hear us, and we can't hear her either.
Just heard her.
Don't try to mute and unmute.
Better go down and come back up. This is fun. This is like a pre-show charades that we're doing here, folks. We planned this. This is all 3 hours of entertainment.
Welcome in. Hey, Britt.
Hey, Britt.
How you doing, love?
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
It's the ladies in the house for Women's History Month. March is Women's History Month. So we are here to discuss whatever we want to discuss today. My toxic trait is that I give credit to everybody else and recognition to everybody else without recognizing and giving credit to myself. So I'm going to start the show talking about me. I am a woman, a mother, a wife, a friend. I come from a very painful childhood of abuse and neglect. It made me want to be different. It made me want to raise my children differently and better. I have accomplished that. I'm very proud of that fact. Now, decisions that my children make, because they are individuals, are their decisions. But as a mother, I did my part way, way beyond the call of duty. Let my husband tell you, because he suffered some from the decisions that I made to be a mom. But I'm on my maternal grandmother's side, I am the only high school graduate and college graduate, or the first. I shouldn't say the only, the first. So those are accomplishments I'm very, very proud of as well. But I changed the narrative I'm not an abusive, mean, toxic mother, which is what I had. Um, More than caring, more than nurturing, more than graceful. That is me. I sacrificed everything to make sure I was that kind of mother. Educating myself, taking myself to therapeutic steps, whatever it took, I did it. Hustling hard, working hard. I've done it, still doing it. Um, I changed the whole narrative. I broke every chain and still trying to break many more. There's more I want to do, and I'm working towards that, making sure that the legacy that I leave for my circle is amazing and that they want for nothing. So, Queen Angelique.
Hey, I love that. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that. So you know what, Queen Bee, you go ahead. I gotta think about what I gotta say.
I don't talk about myself.
That's it. That's how we are, isn't it? We give credit to everybody else. We can uplift everybody else, give way elaborate descriptions of everybody else, and then when it comes to us, we're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Miss Cat. I'm Queen Bee. Joy is my real name. Most people already know that. I am Mr. B's wife. So we have a blended family together. We have 7 kids. Y'all, we got a squad around here. Well, everybody's grown now. So we have all adult children. Honey, I'm soon to be somebody's grandmama.
Hey.
Yes, so I will be honey soon, June. So yeah, I'll be somebody's grandparent. I'm excited. I'm getting excited about it. I'm excited for her.
I love that name, Honey.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, honey is so cute to go by.
my grandma is still here. We're talking about lady strong women. My grandma is 100 years old. So
That's
Wow.
there's
amazing.
no way I can take the name grandma because I still have my grandma. So yeah, I'm honey.
Yes. Because I'm
let's
not a
see.
grandma either. I'm Gigi.
You're Gigi. Right. What else about me? I give a lot. I give a lot. Is that a downfall? It can be to an extent. I try to make sure. Hey,
Hey, Toya.
I try to make sure everybody around me is okay, and everybody being okay makes me okay. Does that make sense to y'all?
It does completely. You're preaching to the choir.
Yes, Jax, as long as she's at her house.
Like a
She's at her house.
quick drop off with honey and then back to mom you go, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so I just try to make sure everybody around me is good. I'm a sister. I love my sisters. I'm bossy, I guess. Yeah, I can be a bit bossy, but I'm also empathetic, and I'm that friend, I'm that sister, I'm that mom. Now I went hard as hell as far as raising my kids, but sometimes I wonder, did I go hard enough?
Well, I'm telling you, you heard what I said now.
Yeah.
When I said you did everything you could, and some things you should have did.
Yeah.
But you thought it was best at the time. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
they
because
are
they don't come with manuals. They don't come with manuals, and
they're individuals with free will.
Mm-hmm. They're different. I love my girls. They're strong women, and I just did my best, and still doing my best to make sure they're better than me. Because I know they look up to me, and they're like, "That's my mama," right? Sometimes they don't like me, but they definitely love me. And I just wanted to make sure they're the best and try to prepare them for what's on the other side of the door. It ain't sweet. Excuse me, stuff ain't sweet. Yeah,
Yes.
but that's me. think that's me. Oh, I forgot to add, I'm a business owner. How did I ever leave that? Owner of Queen Bee's Hustle. Yeah, check it out, queenbeeshustle.com.
Oh,
Plug.
no,
My
Yes,
friend.
yes.
can't see.
Check it out.
What they didn't want. Chrissy.
So, hi, Tanya. I'm Chrissy, aka it's Chrissy Bitch, but you don't have to type that whole thing out if you don't want to.
On
And
TikTok, Tanya. If you go to
and
Chrissy Bitch on TikTok, you'll remember who she is.
hard to forget, I guess. I guess that's me. So I guess we'll just segue into what's me. So I am a very strong-minded, independent woman. And that is sometimes to a fault. I do not like to ask for help, even if I'm drowning and on my last breath. I find it extremely difficult to reach out my hand for someone. Now, I am 4.5 months pregnant currently, getting ready to welcome our first child. I did not have a great role model of what a strong, independent woman should be growing up. My mom suffers with mental health issues, so she was very there physically present, but very emotionally and intellectually absent. So I kind of had to figure out a lot of it on my own. She did what she thought was best at the time. You know, she worked with kind of what she was given, and she was also given, you know, a very cold upbringing with her mother. So I feel like for me, I really had to kind of figure out what type of mom I wanted to be well before I was having a child. I kind of had to figure out what type of woman, what type of wife, what type of, you know, I've always been that friend that anybody can go to. I have the advice for everyone, but do you think I could follow my own? That's my toxic trait. I will give you advice till the cows come home, but let me be doing the whole opposite behind my closed door. So that is right. That is definitely one of my toxic traits for sure. But I will literally give and give and give until I have nothing more. My biggest fear, I think, in becoming a mother is that I have this vision of who I want to be for my child and just not being able to live up to that expectation that I have set for myself. And I know that motherhood is not a linear thing. It's not like okay, this is the step I'm going to take and then it leads to this and la 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 la. I understand. Thank you. I understand all of that, but knowing and understanding that and actually being able to apply that knowledge to life is very hard for me as well. So that's kind of me as a woman. I am somebody who doesn't take any bullshit from anybody. I will give you my opinion. You know, if you ask me to listen, I will listen, but I will certainly not be shy to give you advice. And typically I do it out of the caring for you because I didn't have anybody to be like, hey, you know, if you walk on that train track long enough, a train's going to come by and you're not going to have a leg. Like, I wish I had somebody, you know, to be that kind of backbone and that voice for me. So I found myself kind of being that void for a lot of other people, which hardens you over time. But I'm trying to also allow that nurturing side of me to come out more and have a lot more people see that there is a softer side to me, because I had to be hard for a very long time to survive a lot of the stuff that I went through. So that's kind of, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I remember being a brick wall, and motherhood broke that down for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then marriage broke the other half down.
Oh, marriage has totally broken came in like a wrecking ball for me. So I'm already like, all right, if this baby is half my husband and he already did half the work, like, all right, this baby gonna get me all the way. And I can already feel that kind of tug and that pull changing. It's so crazy. Like, baby's not even here, but my husband's like, wow, you're already like way more patient. And I was like, yeah, that must be from your side, because I don't know. Like, that's not me. I'm not a patient person. Nope, I need all the information right now. I need to make the decisions right now. Like, I'm a very take charge type of person. So I've been practicing some patience lately. So
Yes.
You got it.
So, 3 queens making history. Well, history's already been made. Still making history.
that's right.
So, did you guys have any particular topics you wanted to talk about tonight?
Child, I could talk about whatever. Let's go.
I like I like the fact that Chrissy brought up asking for help because
Mhm.
that's another child.
What's
They say
up?
it takes a village, but I'm like, am I going to be able to reach out to the village? That's, you know what I mean? Like, and I found myself doing that more and more now, but it's hard for me. It's so hard for me to admit that I need help. And, you know, I think in today's society, we're looked at as women to have to be that strong mother who's still working a full-time job, who's holding it all down, who remembers everybody's birthdays, favorite colors, what they like for dinner, you know, all the things. We have to be that memory bank. And it's like, okay, well, when do we get to kind of have a minute to ourselves to decompress? Like, where's our decompression chamber? We don't have one really, you know?
Yep. And this is my husband's reaction to how I don't like to ask for help.
Uh-huh.
It's better, but it used to be awful.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really bad. But he'd be
Yeah.
like, what's going on? Why can't you just say?
I had to
Because
learn.
I can't.
I had
I've
to,
learned
had
to.
to learn. I had to learn to let my husband know that he is wanted and needed around here because I was so used. It's four girls. I have three sisters. We have no brothers.
Right.
My mom and daddy are married. 50, 49, 53 years, 52 years.
Amazing.
They've been married for 52 years. So when it came to cutting grass, washing cars, painting the house, pressure washing, you name it, the girls were out there with daddy while it was being done.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, a single mom when I was 27. At 27, I had Jordan, and I was used to doing everything for myself. So of course, when Mr. B comes into my life, I don't know how to accept help. I don't know how to be patient and wait for something to get done, because if I say, "Oh, the something's going on with the garbage disposal," and I remember this happening, something's happening with the garbage disposal, and he was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll look at it." Well, honey, when he went to look at it, the whole damn thing had been taken apart because he wasn't moving on my time. And I had to learn to sit back and allow him to do what needed to be done. Everything doesn't need to be done in a hurry. You don't have to be in a rush to go anywhere, going nowhere fast,
Mm-hmm.
and let it be done properly. So patience is something that I'm still. Child, I will take apart a laptop, and the next thing you know, that damn thing will be in the corner, and I'll be buying a new one. Yeah, I'm still working on patience. I,
Mm-hmm.
it's a hard thing. Asking for help in the village, I find myself looking around like, what village?
Right.
Yes.
Because I'm away from my family. I'm sorry, excuse the rain. Um, I'm in North Florida. My family. I'm from South Florida, right? So what village? But I found out that I had some really true friends, and only a couple of them. And that too was really there for me, while I was being a single mom. I have my husband now, he has family. They're around, but I still find it hard to say, y'all, I need some help with this. Or does anybody know? Shall I Google all day? Angela can tell you. That's my
If
friend.
that ain't me.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a problem with
The
asking.
Google Queen.
It's me.
Oh, it should be called joy.
You say Google
Joy.
Joy. Oh.
Right, right.
Oh, so we have a question. Is there any womanly expectations that were put on y'all as a younger person that you don't agree with now?
Yes.
For me, my entire childhood and the womanhood that I observed, I completely disagreed with. As a child, I grew into a young adult who said, I'm not going to be that way. And I became the adult that changed the narrative. My family is very, ooh, child. verbally abusive, violent. I don't want to put too many adjectives out there. This is the public. I don't want to put them out there too hard or too much, but let's just say
Tumultuous.
you don't want to be like them. I didn't want to be like them, and I'm not like them. I have my moments in my anger with other people where I can be like them. If you mess with my children, if you mess with my husband, if you try to disrespect me, I become a hybrid of who they are, but still not as deep, because they would curse you out or fight you in a heartbeat in a minute. You can be in the doctor's office. They gonna turn it out if you get their time wrong. But I don't do that. I'll just say I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me, and no. But I'm totally different from the expectations that were put on me as a young child, a woman. And better, if I might add. Much, much better.
Amazing.
Can y'all hear the baby? The baby's getting
Oh,
her.
yeah. She is squawking over there. She is like, I'm not happy.
She is very vocal, honey.
Right? A lot to say. A lot to say. Well, as for me, growing up, I used to hear a lot of what a woman is supposed to do. And it was like, and I could hear this so clearly. If this is a house full of girls, why isn't this cleaned up or why isn't that cleaned up? Okay, I accepted it as a child. That man out there, he said it a couple of times, and I was like, whoa, wait. We ain't doing that shit. I work, you work. And he was talking to the kids, but at the same time, cleanliness isn't just for a woman.
It's not gender specific.
Right. So
yes,
everybody needs to clean up. I go outside, I cut yard. I go out helping pressure wash. I mean, I don't think there's a gender assigned role for anything around here. And I used to hear it like growing up. I guess my mama was supposed to take care of what was in the house, and daddy worked. Both of my parents worked. But her assignment, I guess so to say, was make sure everything was done inside, and he took care of what was going on outside. And there were even times with like meeting people, I would see where my mama would fall back and let my daddy do the talking. Who found it bad? If I want to know, I'm going to ask. If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. But there is no, don't get me wrong, he's my king. Do your thing, but as far as you're the woman, this is what you're supposed to do. Nah, babe. Try that with somebody else. Wrong one. Wrong one. We ain't doing that.
I would say in my household, there was very clear gender specific roles. My mom for most of my life was a stay-at-home mom who also ran like a home daycare. So she had that traditional caregiver looking after, minding the children type vibe. When my dad would leave for work, she got up, laid his clothes out every single day, had his breakfast ready, packed his, like, I'm talking like very traditional. This is what a woman does. She looks after her man. My parents never fought in front of us. So there was never you don't speak back, like you don't back talk the man of the house, right? Like that would have been viewed as a huge disrespect. And when I was coming into my own as a young woman and like a young girl trying to kind of test my boundaries, figure out where my voice was, it was, you don't speak to your father that way. Even my mom would reiterate this, you don't speak to your father that way. I could speak to my mom however the hell I wanted, but I would never speak to my father that way, or wait till your father gets home. You're going to get disciplined when your father gets home. Like he was the end all be all, fear the man, whichever. And I found myself rebelling against that. But also when I got into my first marriage, I fell into those gender specific roles. I was setting out my, ex's clothes. I was making sure dinner was hot and ready when he got home from work. Mind you, I still worked a full-time job and supported majority of our family because his work was very sporadic, but that's a whole other thing. But anyways, I was doing all of these things and still was, holding it down as if I were quote unquote the man of the family, the provider, all of those things. But I still had that expectation even from him and his family that this is what a woman does. This is what a woman does in a relationship. So when I met my now husband, I had to work very hard to not be like, you know what, if you're hungry, there's a heaven kitchen, like to be like complete polar opposite, because I was like, ain't no mother effing way I'm ever going to be put back into that box. Like I have broke free. I am very used to doing things by myself because I could never depend on anyone to be there for me in my, personal life and previous relationships. So if I needed a dresser built, guess what? I was on YouTube, I was watching that video and I had my little drill and I was doing that shit myself. I am still very much that person. We just bought new side tables not long ago. And I said to my husband, it's funny that you said about his timeline, because I was like, babe, can you please put these together? Like I'm excited to use them. And like, when I say, can you please put them together, I mean within the next 24 hours. Like, I'm not trying to wait a week and a half. Okay. That's my timeline. And they were sitting there, 2 whole days had gone by. And I was like, okay, now this is a little excessive for me. Like, so I got home from work one day. I just opened up. He's like, what are you doing? Don't you want to relax? And this was before I was pregnant. I was like, no, I don't want to relax. I want to fucking put these things together because I've already asked you 3 times. Like, that's what I want to do. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. Sorry. That was a little harsh. I just really want to put these together. Like, I have to like really watch the way that I come off sometimes, because I'm just like, no, like if I wanted to relax, I would do so with my new side tables, but I can't do that because you haven't put them together. You know what I mean? So I'm like still kind of learning that patience, and it creeps up every now and again. But yeah, I had very traditional what a woman looks like. She doesn't have a full-time job. She's not, an independent boss lady, any of that kind of stuff. It was very much you're in the house and you're doing house things. So I'm glad that I broke that cycle, because I want my children to see that women are strong, women are independent, but they also can be in a very happy and loving relationship, and you can be their equal, but still be their king or be their queen and be respected within that relationship as well. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't have to submit. And that's another, how do y'all feel about a woman must submit to her man type situation in a relationship? Because y'all, that makes my fucking hair on the back of my neck stand up. And I'm like, listen, someone will submit to you if you give them something to submit to. If you are not someone who can have the other person submit for whatever reason, and it goes both gender, it's not just women specific, it goes both ways. A man has to submit to your mind to know that, okay, she also can make these amazing decisions, and I will submit that control that I need to lead the family over to her, and you will submit to him in, being there emotionally for you, because you never had anybody be that kind of strength and that guidance that you needed, right? So how do y'all feel about it? Because that shit irks my nerve.
And I think when people talk about, people talk about it, especially on social media, it's very generalized. And it's usually just trying to put a woman in her place, so to speak, where you are under the authority and the thumb of the man.
Right.
Lies, and never ever. Submission, in my opinion, and according to my definition, is a two-way street, because we are a team. Therefore, we're going to come together. We're going to discuss the issues at hand, the decisions that need to be made, and we're going to come to a consensus in agreement where, and to me, that agreement is submission for him and submission for me. And it benefits everybody.
Right.
That's how I look at submission. Submission is not me staying home and you ruling over the checkbook, telling me what I can and cannot spend and where I can and cannot go. And I'm under this budget. I better have your plate ready when you come in the door, and all of this foolishness that people are talking on the internet. Even if I'm at home, I'm working just like you and harder because I'm at home. So depending on how the day went, you may or may not have a hot meal when you come home. And thankfully, I married a man who's like, baby, you don't have to cook every night. What you want.
Right.
I'll bring something home, or I'll come home and cook myself, which he has done many times, work all day long. And for some people, that's like blasphemy. What? He worked all day and he came home and cooked?
Right.
Yes. He
Imagine if he was
should.
single. That little fairy in his house would just be cooking his meal for him, right? Like, come on now. Come on.
So the tired submission that these youngsters have going on, uh, they just need a clue. And I went under. There was an actual post on Facebook this week that talked about the same thing. If I'm the provider, there better be. I better not have to go hungry, and the house better be clean. And of course, you have the Muppets underneath. Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. And you know the women who are like, "Child, please." And then the other ones that come through and be like, "Well, that's why Black women are single." I had to go up under there once I saw that, because I'm tired of that false narrative as well.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is only single for two reasons: she wants to be, or she can't find a caliber of partner that she is looking for. That's
That part.
the two reasons that a woman is single. Women have their pick of the litter. It's just that sometimes the litter is really dirty and filthy.
A lot of runts in that litter.
Yeah, it's five dudes hollering at her from home to work.
Yep. They
When
got
she gets-
mange a little bit.
When she gets to work, it's three dudes there trying to holler.
Right.
All day long, she running into the dudes. On her way home, it's five different ones trying to holler at her. Come on. A woman is only single for two reasons. She wants to be, she can't find the caliber of partner that she's looking for. So I had to go up under there and put that under there. Please don't feed the false narratives, because I'm so tired of hearing the cliches of how women are not getting married, especially Black women, because we're too headstrong, we're too angry, we're too this, we're too that. No, 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 no. Because we're at a point now where it's not, can you provide for me or can you make me happier? But it's, can you add to my peace? Because I can take care of myself. I got my own education, my own job. I got my own house. Yes. And the neck rolling that we do when we want to count out all of our accolades. Yes. I have everything. Now, can you add to that? I don't need you to come and take care of me so you can tell me what to do and try to treat me like a maid.
Right.
Can you add to my peace?
It's no longer what are you putting on the table for me to eat. It's what are you bringing to the table, because I already got my own food. Like, what are you adding here?
I have my own table.
Yeah, that's right. And the house that I go in. So what you bringing?
No, hope people love TV. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. Young ignorance. Yes, submission means respect to a man from a woman. No, sir.
Sir.
Submission means respect from both to both. It has nothing to do with a man ruling over a woman. And this is the problem with these young folks today. You so loud and wrong.
And they want respect to just be given. I'm sorry, respect is earned, and it's earned both ways. And when you have that mutual respect, you understand that submission is no longer something to aspire to. It's compromise is what you aspire to. It's not, oh, you know, you're going to submit to me and you're going to make the bed and you're going to kiss my feet when I get home. Absolutely not. It's, hey, you had a bad day. You know, let me pick up today. You know, you pick up tomorrow. It's doing for each other what you want done for yourself. You have to meet 50-50. Sorry, Queen Bee, you've been trying to talk for a really long time. Let me.
No. Because what you're both saying is valid. It's valid, but a lot of people feel that submission is when a woman accepts being bullied by her man.
And controlled, 100%. That's what it is. It's a control thing.
Now, honey, y'all can go episodes back where I've said I am nobody's doormat. I don't care if I've been off for a month, a day, or a couple of hours. The expectations that you place upon me, be ready to fulfill them yourself, as me projecting it back to you. So if I come home and I'm tired and I've had like the worst day ever in life, and you're like, why isn't dinner cooked? No, don't ask me why. Go in there and cook it. This man will tell you, when I cook like I'm cooking for my whole family. I'm talking about family in Miami, everybody. My sisters will tell you, I don't know how to cook small. So I find myself throwing a lot of stuff away. So I don't cook as often as I used to. And he's more than okay with that, because he can cook too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? As far as, oh, you the woman, the house should be clean. Don't ever say that shit to me. Like I said, I used to hear it a lot as a young girl. And I made sure my girls did not hear while they were growing up here in the household. Your girls, this should be done. No, anybody should want something to be clean, but submission, you coming home telling me when I cannot eat, because this is what I've seen in social media. Like the woman needs to ask for permission to do stuff. Bitch, you can kick rocks with open toe shoes on, because I ain't doing it. I've been independent for a very long freaking time. And like I said, I had to learn how to let that wall down, remove them brick by brick. And then as soon as something offensive happened, I find myself putting that wall back up.
Mm-hmm.
Mission, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't even have it in my vocabulary. It's called respect for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's called respect. And you don't get respect if you have not earned it.
Yes, and respect goes both ways. I
It
deserve
does.
respect,
Right.
just like a man deserves respect.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably more. We carry the babies, we nurture the babies. Hello.
And you know
Hello.
what's funny too, as I find a lot of people try to hide behind, oh, well, it's a cultural thing. You know, I was raised that way. That's the way that my belief. Well, guess what? I was raised that I should be submitting to you too. But just because you were raised a certain way doesn't mean that it's the right way to go about living your life and the right way to exist in a relationship. And I will say my husband is Nigerian, for anybody that doesn't know. So the fact that we can come together and we can be like, yes, this is not about submission. This is about compromise. And this is about you respect me, I respect you. We come to a mutual decision together that works for the both of us. Like, especially in this pregnancy, my husband is not the greatest cook, okay? He tries. I love him, but you know what? Like, given the option, I will gladly cook because, you know, I love to do it, right? So I put a little love into it, and that's kind of my decompression for the day. However, the first like 3.5 months, I was very sick with morning sickness. My husband stepped up. He's like, babe, he would message me even before he's home, babe, what do you want for dinner? Am I grabbing some takeout, or you taking something out, or am I taking something out before I leave for, you know what I mean? Like, there was constant communication about dinner that I didn't have to lift a finger for. All I had to do was try and think of what to eat, which is almost the hardest part, like figuring out dinner every day, but it's okay. You know, I helped him out. But that's compromise, right? Like, you know, and just the fact that if people say, well, that's how I was raised, that was my culture. Well, challenge that. Challenge how you were raised, challenge your culture, and challenge your mindset as to why you feel so strongly about that.
Yes. Yes. So Shakyra says a marriage is equal connection. A man can be feminine, submissive, and a woman can be dominant, masculine. And honestly, loving someone, both of those qualities come naturally. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Absolutely true. And our other queen is here. We're going to bring her up. Mandy B.
Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Mandy.
How you doing, girl?
I'm always muted. Namaste and Ashe, everybody. How are you?
Good. How are you?
You?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I was listening backstage and I was just like, oh, we went there today.
Had to go in a little bit.
I see. Submission is a hard triggering word. I was sitting in the back like, wow, I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Yes, because the way they intended it, or the way it has always been taught, is that a woman must submit to a man. You must submit under his authority, under his rule. And no,
absolutely not. And it's
I'm sorry. Let me just say this
about our upbringing that just wasn't right. It's incorrect.
People, and I'm sure this is Bible that has turned urban. You know what I mean? So you're talking about submission in the Bible, right? But it also says that the man is supposed to rule his household. But if you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing to run that household, how is anybody going to submit to that?
Yes.
And also, the Bible does say that a man should cleave to his wife. And do men be cleaving to them wives, or do they be cleaving to any woman that they see on the street? Let's be real.
Sorry, you ain't gonna stay in your mama basement and talk protecting me and tell me what I can and cannot do. No, boy,
Mhm.
we'll talk to your mama because
Mhm.
it ain't that type of party around here.
Mm.
Well, that's the Bible, right? And
Mhm.
it's so interesting because I just finished a class. I actually went back to college, guys. And
Congratulations.
yes,
Amazing.
I just finished one of my lectures, and it was actually the study of the Genesis book. And he dived deep into all of that, like human to human relationship, God to human relationship, and even our relationship towards him. And one of those things came up was like submission and love and man and woman and how like we're supposed to treat each other and stuff like that. And I've never heard anything in my like 3 months of studying about anything about submitting to anybody. It was all about taking accountability, saying that you're sorry and knowing when you're wrong. And knowing that bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh means we come from each other. We are one. We,
Mhm.
of course, we come from a man. Yes, that's what was said. But he also is a part of us because without us, they really are nothing. I was just telling my son too, like, men are the strong front. Yes, they are supposed to be providers, but so are women. We provide as well. We just provide in a totally different way. And both can, like Chrissy says, meet in the middle and have a stable relationship. But that's where we have to clean out the perfect. There's no perfect at
Mhm.
all whatsoever. It's just meeting in the middle. So
Yep.
submission, like Miss Jackson says, was portrayed like a bad thing. Like that's how I'm hot thinking about submitting.
I don't even like the word. I will not
Me
submit to
Right.
the word
I
neither.
submission. I don't like that word.
I
How
hate
about
that.
I just love you and these are the things I'm willing to do for you, with you, just like praying. I pray for you, with you, besides you, always. But
Mhm.
submitting, no, that shouldn't even be in our vocabulary. I think you
Mhm.
should just love somebody enough to want to do those things and
Right.
vice versa. It shouldn't be a control thing. Control feels like animalish
We're
kind
Yeah.
of.
going back, so many hundred years is what it feels like.
Right. And if anybody it like really honestly believed that, everybody even back then was perfect and submitted and yeah, of course they submitted because one, that's all they knew. Two, there was no technology and stuff like there is now, even with human, how can I say, like character. Like,
Mhm.
we barely knew anything back then. Now is study of the mind, study of the nervous system, study of just consciousness. It changes a lot. It really
We've
does.
evolved and we need to evolve our thinking as well. And that's just
Amen.
where, people try to go back and they're like, nope, this is what it says. This is what the word says. Well, guess what? The word is also ever changing because the word is living. As you go through different stages of your life, the word mean different things to you. You can read the same passage, but at different parts of your life, get a different meaning from that. So
Mhm.
the word is ever evolving. So should you as a human. You
Right.
shouldn't just stagnate yourself.
And it's also like, even though, like I told my son, you see a lot of people that used to be married a lot of years and stuff like that. And I was just curious, and I've asked a lot of people too, are you really happy? Like once I hear more than like, 10 or I did 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and then, 20 and on. And I really asked people, like I asked at least 10 couples. And 8 out of those 10 couples were like in between, happy and like just living and coexisting because they're comfortable. And the other ones were generally just happy how they were. Some were okay with being submissive, some were not. I think it's just the role we choose as well to play because we're all different and we all treat people different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
Mm,
guys want to take a break,
Sure.
a
Yep.
commercial break, or do we want to continue because we have a
I'm
flow?
enjoying it. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like the long marriages. I think a lot of people are just comfortable with where they are.
Mhm.
And I think it gets shaken. Like I've been married for 15 years. And just thinking that my baby girl is getting ready to go to college is like, Things are really gonna change. Y'all, I'm excited about it.
I bet.
Are you gonna be an empty nester at this point when you're
Yes.
done?
That,
Okay.
Wow.
that's why I said that
I got a
lady
long
her
way,
better get
but
her house.
Right, got you. I'm enjoying my last few months of empty nester before I'm not an empty nester for a long time.
Right. Now I'm excited about it, and I know some couples actually fear what's to come. And again, we've talked about this in previous shows. With children, you get lost, and you really have no identity. You're somebody's mama, and I'm still.
Yes.
It doesn't matter that I have a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old. I'm still such and such mama.
You're
And
always
I'm
gonna
fine with
be.
that. Am mine. I'm
Mhm.
always gonna be mama. But when kids leave, if the marriage hasn't remained strong with the two parties involved, without the children or without whatever else is going on, yeah, your shit gonna crash and burn. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna
Mhm.
burn because you don't have a relationship with each other. You have a relationship
Taking
that's,
care of your children.
yeah, involved with something
Mhm.
else. But when those kids are gone, people are like, what am I doing? Yeah, I don't really like this, so I'm gonna move
Then you
around.
start right. You start
Yeah,
noticing things like,
yeah. So some people lose it with things like that. Some people just don't. And we talked about growing together. If I'm steady growing and my husband's not growing, I've actually outgrown him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have the same interest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the reason to sever ties, because y'all ain't got shit in common. But
Mm-hmm.
kids are gone. You have nothing else. You like, I Love Lucy. Y'all sleeping in different bedrooms or separate beds. I don't, I don't need
I've
that.
never understood that. I'm sorry if y'all like
My
just are
grandparents
with this.
did it.
I don't understand that. I
And they had
cannot like.
7 kids.
God
So what? They just
bless.
had like a community one night in the bedroom,
Baby,
like to
I
get those
don't know if
babies.
they put them jokers together and did what needs to be done. But yeah, they had separate beds, and I could not understand how that.
And believe it or not, a lot of relationships now are becoming that. Actually, it was very common back then for couples to sleep in separate beds and sleep in separate rooms. It
That's
was
crazy.
very, 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 very common. Like, I don't know if you guys ever, I'll just put it in plain forms. The honeymooners, they never slept in separate, the same bed. Even I Love Lucy, they never
Right,
slept in the
right,
same bed,
right.
That's so
you know,
wild.
right?
Like,
But that's,
who's gonna warm my feet otherwise? Like, I got cold feet. I'm not trying to use a heated
but
blanket.
that's the thing, because a woman was what she was for, and a
Mm.
man was what he was for. So there
Yeah,
was
Ah,
I don't like
never
that.
really
I
the
don't like
the connection part that we hang on to now, like the
that.
love and
Right.
stuff like that. They didn't think about those little things back then. They just figured, hey, here's you, here's me, and I think you're okay, and like we're just
Let's
gonna try,
coexist and create a family.
right? And look how that ended up.
Dang.
But I've seen that come back now very commonly, because I heard a woman speak yesterday about, women are becoming so independent because for a long time, it's true, men and, men or women, whatever you dealt with, they have put us in a position where we have to be strong. We have to take on a masculine role, because who else is going to do it? Because we
yes.
need that for
Mhm.
ourselves. We need both parts, whether it's somebody giving it to us or we're giving it to ourselves. But the part I have trouble with is learning how to simmer down the masculine and the control. Because if you're used to being in control all the time and they've put you in that position, sometimes that
Mhm.
causes conflict. Because now a man is like, whoa, 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 now, like, I'm the man,
That's a hard thing to break and to know that
right?
line of like, all right, I'm gonna let my man do this. I need to reel it back a little bit, try not to emasculate him, but at the
Right.
same time, try not to lose myself in that whole thing. That is a hard ass line to
Mm-hmm.
walk.
It
Yes.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It
And
is.
I was brought up by a single mother with sisters. No man in sight except the men that
Wow.
came that passed through.
Mhm.
Right,
My
right.
mother married very, very young, and once she divorced, she never married again. So
Right.
and she was wheeling and dealing. Nope, you don't fit. Boom. Next man. Nope, you don't fit. Boom, next man. And she didn't play no games. She was a true player for real. You either went with her program or you were kicked to the curb. And that's how she was. So uh, seeing her example, seeing her independence, seeing her sheer lack of tolerance for anything other than what she wanted, it made me picky. It made me strong. It made me realize I'm worthy of whatever I want. I don't have to take your shit. I don't have to take you talking to me crazy or grabbing me or any of that bullshit. And once you did any of those things, any of the above, you start talking to me crazy, you grab me by the wrist, you push me, you bump me, whatever you do, it was a wrap for me. And charges, baby, charges. I don't play.
Right.
Charges of street justice. What you want?
Mhm. And I prefer you just you take it along with your accountability and keep it rolling.
Right.
Because you're gonna get hurt the other way.
Mm.
And we do have
And
another question. Oh, I'm sorry. You got something to say, Chrissy?
no, that's okay. I was just gonna say, like with the long marriages, like my parents were married 27 years and divorced when I was 19. So I was the youngest of two. My brother was, I guess, 22 when my parents split, and that rocked my entire world. And like to the point where when my dad had left, he had said, and maybe regretfully so now, but like, I never loved your mom. I don't know why I was ever with her. You know, I regret having children with her. And I was like, sir, I'm the best damn thing that ever fucking happened to your life.
Right,
But you,
right, that's me. What are you talking about?
right, like hello.
Like you do know you're
But-
talking about me.
Right.
right. I'm like, okay, I don't know how I feel right now. So that was quite traumatic to hear that at 19. But like, honestly, I feel like people then just got married because it was like the thing to do. Like, you know, you
And they
graduated
put
high
an
school.
age
Some,
on it.
right.
You
And
had to
some
be
didn't graduate
married.
high school. You had to be married young so that you could be a young mom and produce your first child by, 22 to 20, whatever, 4. So I had that envision in my head. Like I wanted to be a mom. I got married my first time at 22. I was going to be a mom by 25. Well, hello. God was like, no, bitch, you're not going to be a baby mama till you're ready. And that's going to be 32, almost 33 years old, ma'am. You got a lot of shit to work through your trauma. So we're thankful for that. But like, yeah, when that stuff ends and like 27 years is a long time. Like when that ends, it does not end well. The people are definitely, everybody involved is jaded. So I'm a firm believer of like, you don't have to get married right the first time, but like if you're going to do it, at least know who you are. Like know your self-worth and know who you are. But sorry, we can continue on to the next question.
I'm actually terrified.
Oh, that's relevant. You already answered the question. It says, what are some things that you did anyways
Oh shit.
because of societal expectations on women? I can
Yeah.
say so. We
I
all
took
got
on a
married.
masculine role.
We all got married. That's a societal expectation. So despite
Yeah.
whatever you've been through or
No,
saw,
no, not I.
Aren't you engaged though, Mandy? You're engaged though currently, right?
Mandy say,
but that
no,
doesn't
no,
mean-
no, no, no.
Right, hold on, pump the brakes. Wait, I'm gonna have to do a pigeon on this because no, hold on. All right, I'm gonna explain. That's exactly why I'm not rushing, because of social expectations. You know what I mean? I've learned that with time to know what I want before I say yes to anybody. Know that that person is right for me and I'm right for them, because it's not fair. You know that if a person thinks you're right for them, but you know it ain't gonna work. And I've seen so many relationships, like you say, they just do it to do it, and it just crumbles. And then the after effects, the aftermath, the people it bothers,
ugly.
like it really does. And I feel like people have told me like you're keeping your options open. One, that's not a bad thing, and two, why can't we just make it okay to be sure?
Yeah.
I don't want to get married because people are doing it for likes or because they're the pretty dress. Like, I don't care about none of that, honestly.
And
Because
if you look
it's
at marriage
really
for
my
what it's,
name, me signing. That's the scary part for me.
and if you look at marriage for what it's intended to be, it is meant to be a lifelong covenant with that person. It is meant to be a lifelong commitment. which is what got me into staying as long as I did in a shithole marriage the first time, is because I didn't want that big old capital D on my report card. I didn't want to have that conversation where, yeah, I'm divorced. Yep. Okay. Well, what's wrong with her? Why couldn't she keep a man? Because that's
Right.
the narrative. That is the narrative when any woman, any grown woman says that they're divorced, it's okay. Does she have a little crazy in her? What does she do? Like what's wrong with her? Because you become damaged goods, quote unquote damaged goods, right? As if we're a service or something to
Mm-hmm.
be, obtained. But I just really didn't want to have that. So I kept pouring more into somebody that didn't deserve my pouring. I should have filled my own damn cup before I got married so that I didn't have my daddy abandonment issues, because my dad had left when I was 19. I had just been dating this guy and I was like, okay, 2 feet into this guy, because this is the only man that's not going to leave me right now, because my dad just said he didn't want me even born. So it was a whole mess. But what I would say is, make sure you know that the person that you're going to commit to share your life with, whether it's through traditional marriage, whether it's through just, living with this person, whether it's just however that looks for you, make sure that that person is your person. Don't do
Yeah.
it just because all your best friends are getting married, having babies, buying houses. Your life is not defined by a societal timeline. Your life is decided by you and what works for you at that time. Just because I'm, about to be 33, having my first child, I thought I was like geriatric pregnancy. Like I thought I was old. Societally, I thought I was old to be a mom. I know that
Right.
I'm not now,
Right.
but like, as I'm like, I said to my husband, like, okay, I'm getting older. Like, we should really, if we're going to do this, we need to do this. Like, I don't know if I have eggs in there. Like, because, you always assume things, right? Like, here I am thinking I'm like 98 or some shit, but like literally I'm 32. I'm like perfect healthy age to have a child. But
Mm-hmm.
society's like, if you're a woman and you're in your 30s and you don't have babies, you're basically like, what good are you to
Something's wrong with
society?
you that you
Exactly. Like,
can't keep a man to have a baby.
right.
Listen.
Like, why are you 32 and just having your first child? Well, because I done been through some shit and I learned who I was, and I'm going to be a better mother for it now. So I just think that there's so much pressure that society puts on women to follow these timelines and follow these narratives and fit into these little boxes. And it's like, we're kind of like, now, fuck you. We're writing the mold now. Your mold was broken. Fuck you. We're fucking creating a new one that fits every woman, because not every woman is going to fit a mold. They're just not.
Right, and that's separation, and we have enough of that in the world. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we do enough labeling, we do enough like position and all of. Just be who you want to be, and let somebody just love that.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing for me. Like, because if a person don't love you for you, then how do you think anything is gonna work? And if a person doesn't understand you, if there's a difference between when they don't want to understand you and when they're trying to, you
Right.
know, because I've been in situations where I think I'm being clear and I'm really not. And
Mm-hmm.
that's with anybody, friends, family, and my relationship, even with my kids. And that, for me, being the tough me, is also a social expectation for me as well. Because people see me so often as the strong one, or the one that like tries to have it all together all the time, or I'm always doing something, or like, and I'm supposed to be this figure all the time. No, sometimes I just want to, take off my glasses, take off my jewelry, and just be Amanda. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be the mother. I don't want to be the wife at the moment. I don't want to be the friend. I don't want to be the entrepreneur. I just want to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another issue that a lot of, and I see it more in women, men do it too. It's common in men too, I've seen it, but more in women where that loss factor comes in to even, you lose how to even be a friend to yourself because you're too busy on everything else and trying to be the friend that people want you to be, or the wife that people want you to be, or the mother that people want you to be. That's why things don't work out.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's your own expectations, it's your own perfectionism that has you in that
in your
My
own
like,
brain.
okay, well, I have to do this and I have to do that, and
Right.
I have to be this kind of wife and this kind of mother, and
And you burn yourself out.
like
Because I know I've burned
said,
myself.
you can really get lost in motherhood, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you come from an environment where you like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to raise mine
Mm-hmm.
differently. You can
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really get lost in being a parent to the point where you have a challenge with being a partner, and you have a challenge with being a real friend, and you have a challenge on the job because you're like, I can't give you too much. Well, jobs don't deserve a whole lot anyway, because y'all,
Right.
you
I've
do what
heard that.
you do what you do, but child,
Right.
home is way, way
That
more
I
important.
put too much in being into a mother sometimes that it um it overtakes me, and like sometimes it's like I don't want to say over obsession, but it's just a common thing in my brain to always be there and always show up and to, mind you, I have a lot of kids. I don't have one or two. I have seven that I have to show up for. You know what I mean? So for me, somebody asked me this recently, like, why do you do this to yourself? Like, why do you hold your own self up to this expectation? And little did I know that was because I didn't grow up with a mother, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know really what it is, honestly, to have a mother teach me to be a mom or to teach me to be a wife, or, I had to learn those things.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I had to learn what I didn't like and do like. And I raise my children very differently from people. I know I do because I get looked at all the time. I teach my kids to have a voice. I teach my kids that they need to speak up. If they don't trust nobody, you could trust me. Like I'm gonna stand up for you, you know? And I want them to be in their relationships when they grow up and be able to say, "Hey, you did this and it bothered me." Or I don't want this kind of relationship, Or I saw my mom go through this, so I don't want to do this. And I never want them to say, "Oh, my mom, she did her best." No, I always try to do better than that because I love you, and that's a hard thing I think that I'm trying to work myself down from because
Mhm.
again, it's another expectation from myself that I'm driving myself nuts with. So I
Mandy,
hope people are not alone out there. I'm with you.
Mandy, I need you to do this because I've seen it close to me. I've seen a friend go through it. It's okay, baby. Um, I've seen people pour so much into their children that they don't have time for themselves.
Yeah, it started getting that way.
You, you,
It
yeah.
started getting that way.
And when you don't have time for yourself, you don't have time for a partner.
Right.
And your children are grown and gone. And my daddy told my sister this. Mel, I'm putting your business out there, baby. She was preparing for a date one day after she had had her son. And he cried. He cried like crazy when he saw that his mama was getting ready to leave.
Mm,
He told the date, we just gonna have to do this another day because my baby, I need to be here with my baby, right? She stayed home, and my daddy told her, you need to get past that because if you don't, he's gonna be grown, gone, and got somebody, and you're gonna be by yourself. I've seen a friend or a coworker at work that would take days off to attend an event for her children. I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
and I would feel guilty. I'm one
Y'all
of those
pipe
moms
down over
that feel
there.
guilty.
Yeah, I hear talking my daughter, but she put so much into her kids, and not a relationship or any ship that she had around her, even friends. And like right now, she's alone. And I don't want that for you, baby. I don't.
I
I
know.
want you to
I don't
be.
want that for myself.
I
Trust me, I'm working on it.
want your kid, and it's okay not to attend every single thing that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
It's
You
the
don't have
guilt for
to,
me. That's what I'm working on
but you can't be
to
guilty
remove it.
because
What she said?
um, I'm sorry, my daughter was talking to me. Um, You can't be there for every single thing. It's okay to miss some stuff. It's okay to let people miss you. It's not
Right.
okay to remain absent. That's the thing.
Right.
I love going to stuff and my kids look up and be like, my mama's here. It wasn't an expectation for me to be there.
Right.
If I'm tired and I'm drained and I'm committing to go to every basketball game. Y'all know how many basketball games is in a damn season?
Yes, ma'am.
I
I'm doing it
You
I
now.
know,
was the parent sitting in the bleachers falling asleep.
right. So
I have that expectation that I have to be there.
Right.
why is that? Why is that though? Like really,
For
And
me,
I'm
it's like
already
a
struggling
support
with that.
thing
I'm
so
already
that they
struggling
look
with
back and
that.
see somebody.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat as Mandy, where I had a mother, but not a good mother. So
Mhm.
because I didn't have a good mother, I have that expectation on myself that I must be there all the time,
Hmm.
present all the time, filling in the
Hmm.
gap, taking up the slack, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm in that position, making sure I'm their bridge over troubled water.
Hmm.
And even if the water's not troubled, I just want to give them everything. I want to.
Let them know you're there. That's what it is for
Not
me.
served me. Sometimes it has not served me. So
Mm.
I understand that there must be balance, and I had to learn that because my husband would be like, "Well, I think you've done enough. And how far are you going to go?
Right.
And why are you going so far? What is, you know what I mean?" And I would have to have those conversations with him to let
Yeah.
him know where I'm coming from and what my intentions are, and that I
Right.
don't mean any harm. You know, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to neglect you. But as a mom, I want to be this and this and that.
So while you
I
were
needed that.
doing your best to be the mama that shows up all the time, do you think it could have no, I don't want to say that.
You can say it.
Okay, so you know how the girls go to the basketball game and they want to hang out with their little boyfriends and stuff like that. Do you think that put a damper on stuff as far as your kids growing up and I'm gonna show. Do
Having
you,
some entitlement issues.
yeah.
Definitely. My children are grown and they have entitlement issues still.
Cause I know if I went somewhere and I turn around and I see my mom, oh yeah, we ain't gonna do that. I see my mom and daddy.
I
You know
know
what I mean?
I know if you see this children, you like, no, they didn't.
My mama is real.
It's true. And I can only be honest. It's true. They're grown and they have entitlement issues today. And I'm like, who, Lord, why?
I blame me. Just like I
Yeah.
was saying, I taught my son how to speak up because, for a long time he wasn't speaking, and it's almost like I was just joking about it the other day. Like when I said to be honest and speak up, I meant have a filter, especially with your
Don't do it
mama.
all the time.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't mean say everything.
Mhm.
Cause then now he's just like, but mommy, da-da-da-da-da." I'm like, hold on, bro. This we
Not the
got
time and
boundaries,
place.
right? We got templates and we got boundaries,
Right.
and we got triggers. So let's tread lightly.
Queen Bee, did you want to answer this one or you feel like you already have?
Um, Something that I did. I felt like having children in marriage is something that society has placed on us as women. I remember finding out I was pregnant with my first husband. He was like, "Oh shit, I'm pregnant. What am I do?" My best friend was like, "Have it."
Be a
They
mom.
told me that too.
Yeah, it was something that because I had gotten to the point where I didn't want kids. And my children hate to hear me say this, and I'm so blessed and so very thankful that they did make it here. I love them, but I had gotten to a point where I was like, I don't want no damn kids. I'm good on it. So having children, getting married, I really thought that I was gonna go to school, graduate, well, go to college, graduate, marry my husband, like as soon as I finished school, and we were gonna have twins was my expectation. Like when I was
The way
young.
that we're the same human being, like even
Listen,
to
Wow.
my like
She
you want to
18
had
know
a
their names?
ultrasound.
plan.
Their names were
Look,
Geneva and Juanita.
she definitely played
Oh
math.
my god!
She definitely was in the notebook.
Wow.
I'm disappointed you didn't have twins now because come on, those names are cute as hell.
Geneva and Juanita.
Geneva
I
and
like
The
it.
Ida twins.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
But then it was like, I don't want a damn kids. I'm good. As
I
far as
felt that,
getting
Brit.
married, when I met my husband, like we were friends way before we even decided to date. Before we even dated, we were friends for like 10 years. Did I want to get married? Yeah, I knew at some point I did want to get married. I That's all I saw growing up. Like both sets of grandparents were married. My mom and daddy, like I say, they were married. Seeing aunts and uncles get married, break up. Really wasn't sure what was going on because you don't tell children everything. A child needs to stay in a child's place. But I did know that at some point I wanted marriage because I didn't like the feeling of being laid up with somebody for a weekend. This is crazy. Church. On Saturday, I refused to have sex, premarital sex, because I knew I was going to church Sunday. Yeah, it sounds so stupid.
But Saturdays are the best days sometimes, you know? The most
Well,
entertaining.
so I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
You had
So,
to work or nothing.
you know-
So the energy is like, whoop.
Right? I didn't
And
have to
they'll
get up
be
and work
saved on Sunday.
Saturday night,
right?
you gotta go home. You can't stay here because I gotta go to church in the morning. It was stupid stuff like that. But I knew I did not want to be alone. Not that I need anybody, but I love sharing my space with my husband. Like we tell jokes and the kids look at us like we are so stupid. And it'd be hella funny to me. So
Right.
yeah, he's my person. We're meant for each other. And I'm glad that I decided to take the last light skinned man off the market.
And for me, because I grew up with that single mother, not the last light skinned man.
I'm dead.
I tell that man all the time. I say tonight,
She got the aloe vera pulling my hair.
light skin is out of style, baby. I'm nowhere colorist, but it's just a running joke that we have.
That's
going.
funny.
So yeah, I love where I am. I love where I am. I enjoy it, but I just felt like those were my plans. That's what I was supposed to do as far as society was concerned. Things happen, but they happen out of order.
Mhm.
Am I upset or wish that I had never done it? No, no. But it ended up being for me, not because society says this is what you have to and what you're supposed to do. So,
And I feel like I can relate to that too. Like I got to a certain age too. Like I left my first husband when I was 28 and I was obviously not a mom. So when I left him, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be single. I tried the wife bit. It didn't work. I was there for 9 years. That shit did not work. I wanted to be a mom. That didn't work out. I'm okay just being single, not having any children and living my life. Like I can get, dick when I want it and I can keep it moving and just be a boss bitch. Like that was me. Like
not on Saturday.
Right? No, I mean, I get on my knees on Saturday and Sunday, but it's okay. But, for me, it was like, I kind of had a sense of power in that because I could choose. You know what I mean? Like I had some suitors and I could choose. And I'm like, listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Don't fall in love with me. Like
My
I'm going to
son
keep it
calls it
pushing.
being free.
Right. And I said that I was on my
says
whole
it's
shit.
being...
I just claimed it for what it was. I was on my whole shit because I was in my previous relationship since I was 19. I didn't really have a traditional hoe phase. And I know some women don't like that term, but like I embrace that term. Okay. I did not have that phase.
I
Right.
did.
I did not have that traditional young ho phase, right? So I was like, fuck this shit. I'm 28. I'm smarter about it now. I ain't gonna be no, teen mom. Nothing against teen moms, but like I was terrified of that when I was young. So that's probably why I wasn't like a little, promiscuous, we'll call it. But like, I'm like, yo, I don't have to worry about that. Like, clearly, I'm not meant to be a mom, so I'm gonna just be smart about it. I know about, protection, all that kind of stuff, keep myself safe, keep it moving. And then like I did like a year of that, and that was super fun. And then I met my husband. And when I met my husband, I was like, listen here, like, I'm here for, a good time, not a long time. Don't fall in love with me. He's like, yo, I'm going to wife you one day. I'm like, you're psychotic. I was like, I've already been a wife. I'm like, actually, technically, legally, I'm still a wife, but I'm separated. So you know what? I ain't trying to go back there. And he's like, nah. He's like, I'm sorry. There's just something about you. I'm going to wife you. And I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. And I still remember this conversation. And here we are now. Almost 4 years later, expecting our first child, coming up on our first year of marriage. So,
Goals.
right?
I'll get there one day.
You can plan for your life all you want, but life will do what it needs to do, and it will fall exactly into place as it should. And that's just something that I've had to come to terms with.
And for me, I'm the one who didn't have any plans. I had no plans to be a mom. I had no plans to go to college. I didn't know what I was going to do in life. I had no plans to get married because the relationships that I saw, I did see marriages, long marriages, but horrible marriages. Cheating, beating, a bunch of chaos.
Nothing that looks fun for you. You're like, no, I'm good.
And because of the mother that I had, I'm like, no, I don't know about kids either.
Right. That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
Like that looks scary, that job.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't want to do none of what I see you all doing. But I was excellent at school. So that's how I ended up going to college. And I didn't do that first. I had my son first. So my son came, and that was my wake-up call, this is your purpose. Right. It was my catalyst to really throw me into evolving into a different woman, a different person, to be a different kind of mother for him than what I had. Mm-hmm. So my son became my purpose and helped propel me into other purposes, going to college, getting jobs, advancing in the career field. Everything I've done began with him, the conception of him. Then when my husband came along, that is when I began to look, because before him, it was like, no, child.
I'm good on that.
Show me something different. And I'm like, okay, somebody who's kind, somebody who's considerate, somebody who's not so, submit
cringe.
to me.
That's what I call it. Somebody that's not so cringe.
Right.
And even marrying him was a scary thing, because I'm like, oh God, all I've seen is some mess, some foolishness. So am I signing up for that to happen to me later? What is this really going to be? And thankfully it hasn't been that. Of course it hasn't been.
And it's not going to be that, right, Mr. Jackson?
Mr. Jackson. Because I know where Florida is.
Your glass of punch.
So thank God that my path led me to where I am. I'm happily married. We're going on 23 years in May.
That's amazing.
3 children, this grandbaby. Oh my gosh.
Bring me my keys.
Oh, mine too.
Mr. Jackson trying to come with it.
Right. He could try. A for effort.
I had no plan. I've done a lot. I graduated college. I have so many certifications, licenses, you name it. Mm-hmm. And I'm so thankful for my journey. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I would say for me, I ain't have a damn clue in the world. I had no kind of guidance to have even an aspiration to even go to college. I very much felt lost. Like when I became a senior, I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know. Nobody was like helping me with like just planning, I guess. Like when I hear other people like how their experience was. It was so much different from mine. And I knew mine was different because even going through it, like I can even see me now as a senior, it was very heartbreaking to not do what we've been saying, like show up. Like no one showed up for me. So I think that kind of already made me give up
Right.
and put in my head that I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what they expect me to do. They're not really giving me much options, but go to school and figure it out. And it was hard. So that's when a mother, I guess, came to mind. I met my kid's father almost 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and that was it for me. You know, I didn't do anything that I just said, get to know them, nothing. I just moved in and we decided to have a relationship and a family. And that was very difficult because it was like learning to be a mom, learning to be me, learning to be a wife, learning to be still a friend, and just learning what my purpose was in this world, what a purpose was,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And by the time I was like 25, I was already like with 3 kids and I still didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I wanted to work. You know, I knew I wanted to be independent. I knew I wanted to show those kids that they whatever they want, they I will get it, or when they grow up, they could get it themselves. And I think that's why I also go hard as a mother because I didn't have that guidance. So I try to give it to them as much as I can, even though, you know, they don't all take it. But for
That
me, it
part.
helps me,
That part.
right? But it just helps me somehow just sit well with, I told you so.
Yes. Get my heart.
So
Yes.
take that, Chrissy.
Yo, I told you so, like, fiend, and I try so hard not to be. That's also one of my toxic traits.
I feel like I
I'll give you
love
the
you.
advice. I'm gonna tell you so. It's gonna come back around in a circle. We're gonna have the same conversation, but I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna wait for that moment. That's the thing about me. I'm patient when it comes to knowing that I'm right. Like, I will wait for that moment. You come with your tail between your legs. I'm like,
I
yep. Did we have this
can't.
conversation 3 months ago? Yeah, I know.
And even what Brittany was saying about you know, putting an expectation on yourself when your children have an absent parent, you know, those are shoes to big shoes to fill, you know, and for the last my daughter's 7, and for the last 6 years that's been my life. You know, righting a wrong in my head, filling a
And a
void.
wrong that you didn't commit. Like, you didn't commit the wrong. You're just trying to right it for your baby so they don't feel the wrong.
Yeah.
See,
But they do.
I didn't think
They're
that
going
at
to.
first.
They do.
I
Right.
took my part.
Y'all, that's a whole nother show. I know we've been on here for an hour.
I know,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to touch her
Yeah.
question that I felt that like that's an expectation as well to be both roles, both parents, and that's a hard one to wear.
Hell,
Definitely.
being a parent in one role, being one parent is fucking hard. And I'm just a parent to a baby in my tummy right now. But it's hard. It is hard.
Okay, and we can take the final question because
All
we
right.
have for time. Is there anything your parents told you that you didn't like then, but you find yourself using or practicing now?
Everything, almost everything.
Well, the way
I
I
feel
was
like
raised, hey, Chrissy.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't have to be first. Go on.
I feel like it's your show, you know. I gotta respect the host. I feel like for me, I feel like that awakening is gonna be coming. But one thing that my mom has always said to me and still says to me, which irks my last nerve, is when you have a baby, you're going to have a baby girl that's just like you, and she's going to test your patience, and she's going to do this, and she's going to do that, to the point where I just realized, actually, I just came to this realization not long ago, that I'd been secretly hoping for a baby boy more
And that's why you're
so,
gonna get a girl.
right, more so than worrying about or being concerned about the health of my baby. I just assumed that my baby was going to be healthy and that the only thing I had to worry about was the gender of this baby. Because let's be real, this baby is due 4 days after my birthday. We're going to have 2 Leos in this house. Pray for my husband. Okay, y'all going to need to pray. I know. But like, especially if it's a baby girl.
I have
she
2
gon-
in my house.
Right. And she gonna be exactly like me. And I know that because I'm gonna raise her to be just like me. I already know. Like, be strong in what your opinions are, your voice, things like that. But like, if I have a son, he's probably gonna be like me too in that aspect, you know? Like, it doesn't it's I feared having a daughter so much that it almost was like I didn't want to do a gender reveal because I was like, what if I'm having a girl and I'm disappointed?
Why?
Right, exactly. But because my mom had been saying this thing to me for such a long time, like, oh, you were a handful, you're a mouthpiece. Like I said, my mom's not the greatest mom, but like she put this thought into my head, like, if you have a girl, it's going to be hell on earth, to the point where I was like terrified to have a girl. Well, we went for our like 18-week ultrasound and they found a small abnormality on the scan, which could have been a soft indicator for Down syndrome. Thankfully, I did the testing and it came back negative. But holy shit, did I ever have the scare of my life? And I'm like, I don't even fucking care if it's a girl, if it's a boy. I just want my
That's
baby
a
healthy.
mama's
I
love.
just, you know what I mean? And then it just like flip switched. And it's just
You
like God was almost
understood.
like, you need this. You need this wake up call because you're worrying about all the wrong things, baby girl. Like, hold
Mm-hmm.
on, let me just reset you for a hot minute. So now I don't even care. I just want my baby to come out. I just want to hold my baby. But like the way that I was terrified about having a girl to the point where it was like I took everything else for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this really fits with your question, but like my parents, I don't know. This question, I'm sorry. I took this question way left. This was not part of the question, but like
No, it was.
Oh no, it's
I
relevant.
just I feel like when parents tell you something or like, oh, do this or your life is going to turn out this way, or like, da da da, I told you so, all that kind of shit. Like, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be what my parents told me I needed to be. I don't want to be that submissive woman. I don't want to be the only thing I will say that I practice now that my parents taught me. Um, I can't even really say that they taught me anything that I practice now. To be honest, my parents kind of were lackluster in that area. Like, just be kind. Oh, to love your body. Sorry, I will say that. My parents were very good. I've been obese since I have been a child. Like, I'm talking, I was 9, 14 and a half. I was obese coming out. Okay, let's be real. I was a big ass baby. But like, one thing that they instilled in me and that I still do is love my body, whatever shape it's in. So I know a lot of women struggle with pregnancy. For anybody that doesn't know, I had weight loss surgery. I've lost over almost 300 pounds in total from my heaviest. So for me, I watched my body completely deflate. And now my body is reinflating in such a good way. But that has been something that has been a challenge for me. And my parents always said, it doesn't matter what you are on the outside, it's the person who you are on the inside. So that's something that I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fucking this question up. I don't know. This is my pregnancy
You're
brain. Whatever.
fine. I liked your answer.
It's good.
It's all good information.
It is.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I'm like, yo, I don't want to be like that when I grow up.
I think I do everything they didn't.
Fair.
I think
And I feel
that's
like
a
that's also me. Like I'm trying to be the opposite of what I had.
yeah. The only if anything I took or that I use would be everything that they didn't do right. I try
Fair.
to take it and make it my own and just do like I really parent my kids the way I wish somebody would have been a parent to me.
Hmm.
Like that. And the only thing I could really say that I really did take would be the love and the loyalty to my family, and whoever loves me and I love them.
Right.
And always be headstrong and, speak your mind. And those are the little things that I will say were positive that I took. Because there was, like, again, like Chrissy said, there wasn't really much positive to take,
Hmm.
or else I wouldn't probably have ended up so messed up.
Girl, we're in the same
But
boat, so we know it's okay.
but I find myself using more of just how they kept siblings together. That was a big thing in my family. If you every sibling, you had to stick with each other, but they also showed us our own identities. Because I know some people show their children, if one gets in trouble, they all get in trouble. It wasn't like that. It was if one of them are doing something they're not supposed to be doing, well, you're their sibling,
It's so
and you
different.
right. So I take that. I don't. use it too much because I don't want them to feel like they have to be a second to me, because that's how I used to feel after a while that I was a parent and I wasn't. But I let them, I show them responsibility. That's the biggest thing. And like, even little things like credit cards and credit score and thinking about a home and a car and those
That's
kind of things.
important.
Yeah, like teaching them those things, taxes. Like they were just asking me, and I'm like, what y'all know about taxes?
Those are things
But
that I
then,
feel like people don't spend enough time talking about, and they hit you in the face as a young adult, and then you fuck up your credit shit because you're young and dumb, and you're like, I got a credit card, let's
and
go
nobody
shopping.
talks
And
it.
you know what I mean? Like, spend the time, talk about those things. They don't get talked about enough. I agree. Sorry.
Queen.
Well, I'm a little opposite of y'all. I have to say, my daddy drove home credit. He drove home having great credit. If you have great credit, you can have anything that you want. And he is still showing me that today. Is my credit great? Hell no, I didn't listen. Should have. I should have. I'm trying now, but yeah, like I did things a lot later than my parents did. My daddy has awesome credit. I think if he walks in a bank and speaks his name, he can get whatever amount he wants. Own stuff. You want to be an owner. You don't want to have anybody telling you what you can and cannot do on their property. You want to own your own stuff. Now that I did listen to. I have a house. I do. And he was not, still is not big on loaning stuff out. If I can buy it, you can buy it too. You don't need to borrow anything from me because he has always told me, and I found this to be very true. If you loan somebody something, it's not there, so they really don't give a damn about the condition it's going to be in when you get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we became homeowners, I found that out. And I was like, yeah, I see I'm turning into my daddy. I don't want to loan anything out because it's not what it was when I gave it to you. But how does somebody really value something when they've never
Invested in it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
or learn anything.
So everything from them was not absolutely positive, but once I moved out of the house, I understood those wake up on Saturday, turn on the music, and clean up.
Oh yeah, I
I,
need them
I,
days back.
I was and then once I got away from it, because moving out of the house, you're doing exactly what you were doing when you were at home. And once I got away from that, I noticed that I was sleeping in the bed with clothes on the bed. You stepping on clothes when you get out of the bed. Being single, you're not washing every single week. So I just found out what clutter really was, or being junky as an adult, and I see now what my parents are talking about. And it's like, girl, you don't get your act together. Your parents would die if they walked in this room right now. So
Especially people who have everything in its place. God bless y'all.
I aspire
I
to be that
wish.
person. I'm good for like 2 weeks to be that
You
person.
not see the madness.
Like 2
over
weeks,
here.
I'm that person, and then life hits me, and I'm like, "Oh shit, where did I have that? What was that spot? This was in a different spot. Where did that spot go?
That's the thing,
Now it's filled with something else."
when you don't put something up, you know exactly where to go get it from. Whenever you
Right.
call yourself organized, you're like, oh shit. I made
Right.
a
Cleaned, and now I don't know what I did with it.
Right.
Yes.
I hid it from myself.
I'm the queen of putting it where I will remember it will be and not remembering where I put it.
Yep. Now remember, I set that
And
down.
don't
Now where
ask
did
me.
I set that down?
Don't
Was I
ask me
upstairs
to
or was I
remind you,
downstairs?
like,
because I'm
I
gonna be
have
like, hey Siri.
$100. You call yourself hiding it so you don't spend the money that you have, right? And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
And then go wash clothes.
Right. I guess that really is going to be a rainy day fun because it'll be a rainy day when I'm cleaning and I find it again.
right.
They gonna need it right there.
Right.
Now on social media, I follow a couple of those organization queens where everything has its place and is organized and they got a container for every damn thing. And I'm like, bitch, When do you
I
find
can't keep up with these containers.
But here's the thing: when you find the time to clean the containers that you fucking restock all your
And then
shit in,
label
that's a
them.
whole other
Then
job. I
spin
don't
to
want it.
By
And
that
that's what I'm
time,
talking about, Chrissy. Once I buy the containers, I'm not just throwing stuff in it. I gotta wash it. It's
Right.
gotta dry. I gotta, if it needs
And
polish.
make sure when it dries, there's no water spots because there's no water spots on their containers. Then you
Or
got to
have
label
y'all
them.
ever
And how does
bought
that
it and-
label stay perfect? Like, nah,
I'm
it gives me
dead.
anxiety. Nope, not for me.
Or buy it for something and not use it for what you bought it for.
Right.
Like I can't with these boxes. I'm done.
This is
I'm
crackers.
creating
Why do
more
I have
junk.
marbles in here? Like,
And one of these organizational queens I seen, she had a junk drawer that was organized. I'm like, bitch, nobody has a
No,
really junk
that ain't no junk drawer.
because I'll sell you a junk.
Right. You gonna reef on it to get it open. That's a junk
I think
drawer.
I got like two. I'm not gonna even lie.
Fucking stuff that shit back down and slam it close so you need more junk the next time.
Right.
And if you don't
And
have
if
a
you-
couple of packets of hot sauce or random sauces in there, I don't know what
Shake
y'all
it.
doing.
She had none of that. Her junk drawer was batteries of every size, 2 different kinds of cleansing wipes in little packets. I'm like, it's just not.
I couldn't be her friend.
Sound like
I could not be
vacation.
her friend.
I'm like,
The way I would never invite her over, I'd be like, yeah, we coming to your house. Okay.
minimum. Your junk drawer needs a bunch of mail that you haven't opened in ever.
Yup.
Right. Keys, you don't even know what it opened.
Ketchup,
Soy sauce.
packets,
Right.
3
Pens.
A random
don't
broken
work.
fortune cookie that you can see the fortune through.
flashlights that you ain't gonna use.
That the batteries are dead in because it's been in there for 5 years at the back of the drawer where you forget that it's there.
Corroded. Yeah, that's the
Right. A box of matches that doesn't have any matches in it because you
Look,
used them
I
last
found
time
a
the power
candy
went
bag
out.
from Halloween 2 years ago, and I was like,
Right.
this need to go. We need to let it
Half
go.
a set of dentures from somebody's mouth that probably
Ew.
fell out. You know, like if you don't have the most random shit in there, you're not doing your junk drawer right. You're just not.
I've even found a tampon in my drawer.
Sometimes you might need one, you know? You never know, but you might be like,
people just come in and just see it's a junk drawer and just
right, throw shit in it. Yep.
like, no, this is my junk.
Or those random ass loose screws that you're like, I'm gonna need this later, but you don't remember what piece of furniture it came from, so you just got
Oh, where
loose
you
ass
put it?
rolling around.
Yep, the screws and the Allen wrenches. You hold on to
Yes. And you can never fucking
need
find
that.
those Allen wrenches because you don't remember you put them in the junk drawer. You're like, nah, I had a spot for this. Where was the spot in the fucking junk drawer?
Or you
That's
never
where the
have
spot
the right screwdriver.
is. Yes.
Yep.
Oh man.
Get organized. That's what we're trying to say.
Right.
Find a
No,
way.
it's okay.
Find your
Either
way.
whatever way you choose to do it. If you're one
It's
of those
okay.
like container people, I'm envious of you that you can live your life so contained. But the way my chaos is, I couldn't.
The container
Shoot.
people are usually minimalist. They usually don't have a whole lot of stuff.
But I also feel like, why are you buying? Here's my thing with like the minimalist vibe of containers. Like you're going to a store, you're purchasing a container of a liquid to pour it out of the container into another container to put it back into your. Why? It's already in a container, baby. You buy it that way. Just put it in your fridge. It's already pre-labeled for you. It comes with a label. Companies do this for a daily basis. Like this is their business, baby. Just put it in your fridge and keep it moving. But you know, to each their own. I get the aesthetic vibe.
Yes.
I'm just like, sometimes I look
I'm
at him
not
like,
that
there's
wife,
no
not
way
that
they
mother,
can be a
so-
mom also. That's my thought. Like, there's no way there's little children running around and this is what they're doing right now. But there is sometimes. And I'm like, shit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
This organizational queen that I'm talking about, she's a stay-at-home mom, but I think 3 kids and a husband.
Dang.
And I'm like, I mean, everything is in a container. Every face sponge, every cotton ball.
I love the look of it, but like, is it livable? Like, I don't think I could live that way. Because then if something gets out of place, then my OCD, like, you know what I mean? Like, I would get OCD
Right,
about
because you
like,
just cleaned it.
right. And if the Q-tips all slant to the right and my husband goes and pulls one out and they also, I would be like, get out my bathroom. Go to your junk drawer.
Just,
Go to your
no,
junk
you
drawer.
see, that's too much for my brain cells. Just go in the bathroom and get it from the
Right.
carton and you'll be all right.
Right.
Please.
The way she is, I'm like, she must only get 2 hours of sleep every night. Because there's
I don't
no
know how
way.
you wouldn't.
Some people truly, honestly find pure happiness and joy just doing that. Like
That's me
they
for baking, but like,
They do.
nah,
They do.
not the rest of it.
But that you got to think about it. It could be a subconscious thing too. Maybe they can't control other things in their life.
100%.
I've done that.
100% it could be. Yep.
we
I'm
would
just
call
This is a
jealous.
great
it
episode.
we would call it OCD, but
Mhm.
being on social media now, we're finding other people that find
Listen.
joy. Like y'all, I be watching damn carpet cleaning videos.
Really?
The one with that big filthy rug that they clean. Oh, I love
Oh,
those.
Miss Jackson saw it.
And
I
and I
feel
watch
so disgusted
the
when I watch
earwax
those.
too.
Oh,
Who would
are you
know
guys like
that?
pimple topper watchers? Because I can't.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
No, for me, I'm more of how you get
Not the
stains
pimple
out
popper
kind of
too.
person.
Yeah.
See,
So
I'm more of a mukbang. Let me watch people eating obscene amounts of food and just munch in their mouth. Like, I don't know
No.
why.
don't smack in my ears.
Right. I don't want to see the food in your mouth. I don't want to see it drop either. No thanks.
It
Liquid
just
just
always looks
Yeah,
so
just
good.
no.
It looks
Eat
so
it
good.
first and
I'm
then
like,
come back and tell me.
I
but
want
see,
that. Right.
we're all finding joy in videos that people are putting out there.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Of their OCDs. So
Yeah.
just know OCD is okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to take notes from this organizational queen, but I'm like, bitch, I don't even have the energy to.
The way
Right? Your
I'm
brain
tired
be
after
hurt by
watching
the
one of
time you're
those
done with the
videos, I'm like,
video.
shit, that's a whole shift. She just did
I'd
that in
rather
a
watch
whole
it.
shift.
I'd just rather watch you do it. God.
Right. I get peace of mind knowing your house looks like that, sweetheart, not mine.
Yeah.
It gives
Yeah.
me hope.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like
Exactly,
when
man.
people have like baby nurseries that are like they have the bow thing where all the bows are color coordinated
Listen,
and
maybe
like
your first kid.
Somebody else to do it.
Right.
right.
After
I'm
that
like
first kid, it's
that's
just
like a
like, I don't care
nesting
where that
thing,
bow
but
go.
then once the baby comes, I feel like that just goes away. The
That's
functionality of that
exactly
just goes away.
nesting.
Oh no.
Return
Not
to
the
the
grand. Lord have mercy, Tanya.
Thank you for hanging out
Love
with
you,
us
Tanya.
and our foolishness.
Thank you so.
And Britt
What a
says
crazy
my
one.
mom does. Britt says, LOL, she does all that container stuff, plus like washes her decorative towels once a week because she claims they're dirty when you don't even see dust on it.
My
LOL.
mother-in-law.
And she said, I, however, live in chaos. LOL.
Yeah,
Organized chaos.
that's right.
My mother-in-law will clean the crumbs of the crumbs, if that even makes sense. She will. She's God bless her. I love it. Again, she's one of those people. She's one of those women that can have a whole house full of people, but have everything in its place.
Right.
And I always look at her like, I don't know if
How?
it's just old school stuff or you just really like doing this,
I
but
think
why?
I feel like if you're gonna have like a very super clean, orderly house, like that is your escape. You enjoy doing it. You get a joy out of it. That is
And I
kind of
feel
your
like there's too many
unwind time.
rules.
For me, I just want popcorn or chips and a movie. Like that's my unwind time, and I'm okay if that basket of laundry doesn't get folded tonight. You know, I'm okay
Yeah,
with that.
right. I wash them dishes in the morning. It's okay.
Right. They still
Like,
gonna be there. They ain't putting themselves away, you know. This ain't Beauty and the Beast, sadly. So, you know. But
Hey
women are
y'all.
awesome.
I
Ready to
don't
wrap it up, y'all.
Women are drugs. Women are
What's
drugs.
up, baby?
so you're like not gonna tell people
Tell people what.
that your birthday is coming. So
right.
I was going to include that in the wrap up when we started wrapping up.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get
Ain't gonna let you slide on out without that. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Aw, thank you. So
I'm not a
I'm so
singer, but
excited.
I'll dance.
this is my birthday week and my birthday month. My birthday is on Sunday. And boy, it's been a tumultuous year already. And this week started off with a huge, huge bang, and not in a good way. There's been so much going on and so much happening that I have not had the opportunity to focus on it being my birthday. But today felt different. Today felt like, yay, it's coming.
Oh.
It's been a lot going on. So if I haven't been like vocal or talking or, reaching out, this is why, because it's a lot going on. But today I feel great. Very grateful. I'm in good spirits. Um, can't wait. Can't wait to turn another year older and hopefully turn another corner where it's me getting what I want and not just me trying to give everybody what they want.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Mhm.
It's gonna happen. It's
Yes, it
gonna
is.
happen. It's
Happy
your
birthday.
year. Happy birthday.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
birthday.
I'm gonna talk to you, but I'm telling you on here, happy birthday.
Happy
Oh,
early birthday!
thank you
I'm
so
gonna be
much.
talking to you
Thank you
too.
so
Yeah, I'm
much.
gonna call you and go, Happy
Right?
birthday!
So thank you
But
each
I
and
hope you
every one of
enjoy
you.
it.
So,
Thank
what
you.
is one thing if you could choose to do one thing on Saturday? You said Saturday, correct? Or this weekend? Saturday?
Sunday.
Hey.
Sunday, sorry.
Sunday.
I know I just heard it, y'all. Pregnancy brain is a real whole thing. So, if there's one thing that you could choose to do, or like one food that you would want to do or have on your birthday, what would it be?
Oh my goodness.
I like that question.
Probably red velvet cake.
Mr. Jackson, are you listening, sir? I just did you a
Notepad.
favor.
She bakes the red velvet cakes.
Notepad.
No, it has to be, I mean, it has to be baked by someone else. On your birthday, you just have to have it from somewhere else. You can't, I mean, unless you think that yours is the best and you're up to doing it, but like, it always tastes better, right? It always tastes
She
better
said,
when
I'm
somebody
not
else.
doing nothing.
No, no, that's one.
Right.
I am a baker and a cook, but that's one cake I have not even tried
Master.
because
Same.
It's hard for me too.
Let's be real. Red velvet cake essentially is chocolate cake with red food coloring. That's really essentially what it is.
true.
But I
cream
find
cheese.
that when you mix around with the combination of ingredients to get that red color, you can either go super dry with it and it
Yeah.
just doesn't you know what I mean? Like, it is such a finicky cake. Like, I also do baking on the side too, but like red velvet, I don't touch it either with a 10-foot pole. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Red
no
velvet
way.
I found to come out best using Wesson oil and not Crisco.
Mm.
I don't
Wow.
know why,
Texture.
but
It's the texture.
Western oil and not Crisco. Got it.
Good to know. If I
Now
ever
for,
attempt it again.
now for Thanksgiving, we ordered a red velvet that was amazing.
really.
Don hubby did that. He ordered a red velvet from a local baker here.
Mhm.
That's one of the best I have had. Now, the best red velvet that I've had was, believe it or not, from Williams Sonoma.
Okay.
It's that cake was how much? $70.
Well, damn, that better have
Let me
things
tell
in
you.
it.
Let me tell
It
you.
had gold in it.
Let me tell you. It is worth every penny. It was moist. It was perfectly sweet. It had the chocolate. It was the perfect ratio of cake and frosting.
Mhm.
That thing was amazing. And it arrives frozen. And you have to let it thaw. So I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know how this is gonna be if it's frozen. When I tell you that thing was amazing, amazing.
That's the hardest part, is letting it thaw. I would just probably eat it frozen.
We bought
I
that.
have no self-control.
Me
I
too.
wouldn't do that.
We bought that cake for our 20th anniversary because it was during COVID. We couldn't go in. Our 20th anniversary was in 2020 and we were locked down. So we
Haagen-Dazs.
celebrated by spending $70 on a cake.
Hey, that's a good celebration. I mean, I mean, if it's that good, I may do it again, Mr. Jackson, you know. If it's that good.
Just saying.
Cough, cough, you know.
Oh, he says when it comes to birthdays, I'm the man.
All right. We go see.
We
I'm
gonna
gonna
see
check in
about
on
that.
Sunday. I'm gonna check in
I
on
want
Sunday, get a full
picture.
report.
Check
Well, when I see her face again and she's just like, so my birthday was, then we gonna know.
Right. That's right.
Yep. So, yep, birthday behavior this week for the rest of the week and the weekend.
Heck yeah.
And we're gonna even take it on out to the 31st. We're gonna party.
That's that Aries vibe.
Listen,
That's that
it's
Aries
your
vibe
world.
right
We just
there.
living in it right
That
now.
fire coming through.
Yep. So thank you so much, ladies, for coming and being with me tonight. This was such a great conversation.
Amen.
It was.
See,
Thank you for having me.
Queen being Miss Mandy, thank you so much for all of your input, for sharing your experiences.
Y'all.
Always much love.
This has been so amazing. I'm going to thank everybody in the audience, Brittany, Tanya, Brown Eyes, the people who came through.
Nice was here. Deja.
Yeah, Deja.
Even the person who said that we should submit, thank you for popping through and sharing your opinion. I mean, we heard it, but
That's
we don't
how that
respect
started.
It's the Jackson. Shakyra, with all of your thought-provoking questions. Thank you so much.
I love those questions. Yes.
Those questions were amazing. So thank you, ladies, so much for being women, for being friends, for being an asset, for giving all of your input tonight, for being women who have made history and are continuing to make history.
That's it.
Right. And right back at you.
Mean it.
Love you
You
guys.
put a stamp on our life too. Love you.
Enjoy your birthday.